Welcome back to another edition of Stories from the Frontline. Getting to know about others in a department and what they do is important. It helps us to understand what our coworkers experience every day. This is one of the goals for these segments, to make sure you watch and support those who have and will participate in making them happen. We can't wait for it to be your turn to tell your story from the front line.
I've done K-9, SWAT, ERT, corrections, SRO, patrol, been all over the place and got a lot of good training, met a lot of good people, friendships that will never go away. There's one story that I recall. I was working Forestdale Patrol. We were notified of a child missing, wandered off into the woods. I believe it was in Brookside. And they had called me to go over there. I had a dog at the time. It was a tracking dog. And so we went to go look for him. And when I get there, there's a whole community already flooding the woods looking. So it was so contaminated, the dog was no good. So we decided just to flood the area, get as many people as we could, officers, and go out and see if we could find him. Search lasted for a while, and it was time to regroup, and it was called upon for everybody to kind of come back to a kind of a command area and let's regroup, and I made the decision to not do that because I was already fairly deep in there, and then the call came over and said that somebody heard a child crying. So I went to that area, and we'd hear him 1 minute and then you wouldn't hear it. And then you'd hear him again and you wouldn't hear it. So we're just trying to take the paths, stop and listen, take the paths, stop and listen, and just kept repeating that cycle and trying to get closer to him. So myself, Jimmy Madison, and Ronnie Short, we were all together, and we come up on a little pond, little body of water. So my initial fear was that he was in the water. He was coming up, screaming, going back down. So we're all kind of frantic. We're in the bank looking because we're not hearing him anymore. And then we heard it very faintly, heard it again. And it wasn't coming from the water. It was kind of over a hill. And so we just ran up there. And there he was. He was sitting up against a tree, wearing nothing but a diaper, soaking wet, cold, dirty. Called it over the radio that we found him. I didn't know how to get back to where everyone else was, but I knew how to get back to my car. So I told him where my car was, and I scooped him up, and we all ran. I didn't stop running. I ran however long it seemed like it was an eternity, but through briars, tree limbs, whatever. We ran, and as soon as I got him to the ambulance, gave him over, and luckily he was okay. The sheriff's office awarded me a life-saving medal for that because all three of us actually, because just kept pushing through, pursuing. So that's probably one of the highlights that I can always remember. I'll always be able to tell that story. It'll never go away.